that's Jesse. So about 3 years ago, when 3.5, almost 4 years ago, when I started off with Christie Lake, I went up to the summer camp and happened to see I was running the inner city program stuff. We had maybe about, I'd say maybe about 300 kids in the inner city program. So let me explain. This morning in the city of Ottawa, 33,000 children woke up living in poverty in the city. 33,000. That's 17 gymnasiums filled with children living at or below the poverty line, 0 to 18 years of age in our city. Social housing projects exist. The Hood exists in Ottawa. Christie Lake Kids is an organization that goes right into the inner city projects and works with the kids. We reduce barriers. Can't come to dodgeball? That's okay. We call 600 kids every week. Hi, Tammy calling from Christie Lake Kids, wondering why you're not at dodgeball. Oh, you don't want to pick up the phone? We'll go knock on your door. So we go knock on their door. 600, that's what we do. Summer camp, we go visit every single kid in their home before they come up to summer camp. Every single kid, making sure what do they need. Kids don't have shoes, we'll find shoes. Don't have any clothes to come up and do it, we'll find it. Zero cost at Christie Lake Kids for the families that are living at or below poverty line. Our active pursuit model, nobody else in North America is doing this. We are the only organization in North America that literally bangs on the doors every day of these kids to see what is it. A kid moves to another community, we will stop that kid, politely, and we will literally figure out where they are. Phone gets disconnected, that's okay. We have all emergency phone contacts. Jesse is the recipient of our, what we call legal stalking behaviors. So Jesse, 3 years ago, I was standing in the dining hall up at camp, and I see this kid, 100 plus kids, and I see this one kid waving at me. Says, Tam, can you come over here? So I was, how old were you, Jess, at the time? 13? Yeah, he was 13. It was just before his 14th birthday, 2 days before his 14th birthday. He says, Tam, listen, I got myself in a pinch here. And I said, oh, okay, with Jesse, that could be a lot of things, and it was. So he said, I got myself in a pinch. Jesse lives in poverty. These kids that you see standing around here, they live in poverty. It's okay that we say that. If we don't destigmatize poverty, then it becomes a hushed thing. Christie Lake Kids only serves kids living at or below the poverty line. These youth that you see here, and the 600 kids that we work with, they do not allow poverty to define them. It is something that is currently happening to them. That is it. These youth that stand here, they're not embarrassed by it. Those of us that grew up in poverty and social housing in the city, we don't stand here embarrassed by this. What we do is we become active in the community like you folks. We become part of the solution. These youth are our future leaders. These are our leaders in training here at Christie Lake Kids. Jesse Boucher is the gentleman right over there who actually kick-started this whole process for us to think about civic-mindedness in Christie Lake Kids community more than what we were already doing, which, by the way, over the years has been a lot. Jesse said to me, Tam, I got myself on Diversion. I said, oh boy. So Diversion actually is a very neat program where the kids get sort of a chance to be able to go back into their community when they've broken the law, and they have to either do community service, anger management, something. Jesse said, listen, Tam, he said, the only place that I ever have been successful is Christie Lake Kids, because that's a truth. He said, if I go to anger management, I can't afford the $5 bus fare there. He said, they're going to end up charging me. He said, I can't afford it. The workers won't. I have addiction in my family. I've got a lot of issues going on. I can't even afford to get myself up and going in the morning because there's no food in the house. This is serious. This is what our kids are facing every day. Many of them don't have these barriers. It's just that their families are trying to work as hard as they can to get through the day and to be able to afford the things like food. Not tuition, not summer camp fees, not any of this stuff. This is the reality. This is Jesse's family. If you look, these are cousins of his. Every single one of those individuals in those in the families that you see there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 families under one family, all are in Christie Lake Kids or have been. That is just one extended family we serve at Christie Lake. What's important for you to understand, when Jesse approached me and said, I'm on Diversion, Christie Lake Kids is the only place that I can be successful. Will you let me into the LIT program, the Leadership and Training Program? Now at that time, we only had 5 kids. 5 kids in the LIT program. It was for kids 15 to 17, and they got to spend 1 year in there. And I said, Jess, you're too young, honey, you can't do that. I'm really stuck. He says, Tammy, he said, listen, he said, it was really stupid. He said, I wanted to get my mother a Mother's Day present. He said, we had no money. He said, we didn't have any food, we didn't have anything, but my mom's really been trying. So I went and I stole a purse for Mother's Day, and I got busted. So I was like, wow, you know what, Jesse, funny thing, we just started a new LIT program. It's a 5-year-long program for kids between the ages of 13 to 18, and I said, and you're the first person into it. So then I had to go back to the executive director at that time and sort of explain how we have a new 5-year LIT program for the most at-risk youth. So today, 3 years later, I have 80 of the most at-risk kids in the LIT program. They're not going anywhere. Next year we add another year, we'll be at 110, and after that we'll be at 130. We follow these kids all the way through. These kids give back to the inner city program, the dodgeball, basketball, volleyball, all of the different programs that we run in the city to keep the kids after school and on the weekends engaged. Camp is our history. The kids are our future. The inner city program is the link that we make with them the whole year round. You folks, when you raise money, you are contributing to a much larger picture than what you realized probably 15 minutes ago. 600 out of 33,000 is what we're serving today at Christie Lake. And we want to expand that civic mindedness through these youth. So Jesse finished his diversion with us and stuck around. So, and that was, well, literally 2.5 years later. So he's still strong with us today. We'll give you a little bit of feedback, we'll give you a little bit of insight. Kids have to go to school 85% of the time. If they don't, we show up at their school, all 80 of them. And I'm telling you, it's pretty embarrassing when I show up at the school because they're not going to school. Kids need to be coming 100% of the time to our camp weekends. There are 7 camp weekends that we have put in. So when you see the bus, ladies and gentlemen, at the back, and you see all the kids coming in, that's their time to get away from the projects. It's their time to develop different social skills. It's their time to have healthy, safe sleepovers in a community, which is the Christie Lake Kids community. So when they come back, there's better things that they can engage with. So I'm going to pass it over to John, sorry about that one. So everyone, if you can, they're going to keep this up. If you can quickly keep taking a look over there, you'll see something change over after the presentation.
Great job holding those signs, by the way, kids. Stronger arms than me. Thank you, Darcy and Tammy, and as you just heard how important this program is, certainly the numbers are staggering alone, and I know I could have used more of that homework program, I think, when I was going to school as well. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our next guest. He is the GM of Enbridge Gas, who not only housing us and helping us to a good meal this morning, but a big part of this program. It also brings us our first check presentation. So Rick Campbell, if at this time you could join us, let's have a big round of applause. Thank you.
Well, thank you all. And on behalf of Enbridge, welcome to our building, and thank you very much for all the time and effort and energy you expend in supporting Christie Lake Kids, to all the businesses and volunteers and staff and community leaders. It was a short visit to a very similar camp near Guelph, Ontario, when I was 8 years old, that inspired me to become a counselor as a young teenager and a canoe specialist and whitewater instructor for the Boy Scouts of Canada for 15 years. I made the mistake of telling Darcy that, so I think I may be recruited for some summer events and overnighters, so we'll see if that unfolds. Christie Lake Kids has become a real integral part of the value system here at Enbridge. It is what we like to do, and to hear the stories about the nature of the support they give to the kids in this community is really heartwarming and reminds us all how important our efforts and volunteerism in the community are. Christie Lakes helped the 600 kids in the STAR program last year develop really for the first time the leadership skills, the self-confidence, the sense of achievement, often for the very first time in these young lives. So thank you all for making all of our time is precious, and we have to choose where we spend our volunteer moments, spend our dollars. And I can't think of a better one than helping the team support Christie Lake Kids. I'll be out on the shore on the lake in June with an Enbridge team. It has become a tradition for the GM to be in that canoe, so I'll be there. I've not heard how the tradition has worked out in terms of performance on the lake, whether we all stay dry or anything like that. All right, I've heard that story. So thank you very much. So let's kick off the proceedings in terms of presentations. Enbridge has a donation of $15,000 for Christie Lake Kids, and let me pass it over.
Thank you very much, Rick. And if you're looking for strong whitewater paddlers, bypass me. I could be the guy yelling, maybe giving you some support with a drum or something, but yeah, paddling in, so I'm not going to help you win any races. We can continue with some of our great sponsors. CGI sponsorship provides the online registration and the pledge system that allows the teams and participants to have an easy way to fundraise. So this is a big part of it as well. I'd like to thank CGI, and we'd like to call upon the Director of Consulting, Margaret Tomasini, to come up and say a few words as well, another check presentation. So please welcome her. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm really pleased to be here this morning just to say a few words on behalf of CGI. And of course to offer our support again this year to Christie Lake Kids at the Inter Kids event. Pardon me. So we again this year will be donating the use and support of our online registration donation system, and I hope each of you can take full advantage of not only to register and organize your teams, but to extend your fundraising reach. Use the tool to reach out to more potential donors, maximize your pledging, and of course to meet and hopefully exceed this year's goal. Because really that's what it's all about. Beyond the fun and the teamwork and the competition and of course the amazing display of athleticism that is race day, it's really about raising funds. Funds that Christie Lake Kids uses to support their programs that help kids in our community. Help kids realize better, brighter futures and help them realize their goals as fine, capable, productive people that support our community to make the community better for all of us. And we at CGI are really proud to be able to support Christie Lake Kids in that and to contribute to the success of Canoe for Kids and ultimately to the success of the kids themselves. So with that, I'd like to offer my best wishes for a really huge success for Canoe for Kids this year. And to all the captains and crews, I'd like to wish good luck, smooth sailing, both the pledging and